Boogish appeared in addition to Cotton Kids in Europe, Pennsylvania.
You know, it was really close. It was great. Everybody was a family, pretty much. Our class is like 69 kids in our class. That's what we graduated with. And everybody knew everybody. I knew Mickey's mom, dad. He knew my mom and dad. It was just very family-oriented.
I guess you could say, well, New Hope, it's progressive, it's liberal. But it's you know, on the face of it, there's, you know, inner circles of people that exist in every town, in every city, in every state in America. Whether specifically there was influences, was the river or George Washington slept here, I don't think so.
These two kids, Mickey Malpiano and Aaron Freeman, would eventually rise to greatness in my name. Mickey and Aaron were two assumed names, T and G. They would form the band Ween.
The band that you are about to witness is a legend, a living legend, a legend that will live a lifetime, long after all of the other living legends have died. You are about to witness a band that was labeled by NME magazine as being the greatest thing since cheese. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome from New Hope, Pennsylvania, Ween!
This was their first performance in front of a large crowd.
I've kind of known them as children, clear on up, and to the time when they were sitting on the church steps here in town with a guitar and being chased off the steps by the local gendarmes who thought they didn't like that kind of rock and roll, you know. And they chased them off the steps, and I guess they proved to be a little bigger than the police department were, which is great.
I first met Mickey, and I guess he was either 12 or 13, and he would come in and he would buy records. So that's sort of my first memory of him. And I remember he was very like precocious. He had like a fanzine that he was doing, and he would have articles in it. So he was already on his way to being somebody.
Cool. I have the first magazines he used to put out, and I had the first one of one. I think it was called Yuck Magazine. If he was doing a gig in his garage, you know, come on and see it. It was in the fanzine.
I believe it was Mickey was working up at a local gas station. It seems my wife knew Mickey kind of vaguely, and he kept throwing cassettes in the car for us to listen to, and I kept throwing them in the back seat. I didn't want to listen to them. And I think that was the first time, and then we did listen to him. When I think about Ween, I still think there's a little storytelling kind of makeup to their rock, you know, and to their alternate sound.
You know, I honestly, when I first heard it, there was a lot of EPs and a lot of weirdness.
Ween, let's get my place, got Ween, got Ween. Oh, got Ween, let's get my place, got Ween, got Ween. We love this business, got Ween, let's get my place, up. With this business, my place, get a little out of it, a little bit of it. Got Ween, let's get my place, got Ween. Get me in the way, look where got Ween, let's get my place, got Ween, got Ween.
Out of nowhere, out of a total musical vacuum, out of total darkness comes one ray of light. And it's fucking Ween.
I don't think we've ever had a band that was more popular or more kind of connected to John and Peter's than Ween.
Recently, these people came in and they were looking around the store, and I said, "Can I help you?" And they said, "No, we're just looking at the birthplace of Ween, the town. We just, And I said, "Where are you from?" They said, like Santa Fe or something."
One day, this kid walks in, must have been a 16-year-old girl, very sweet, and she didn't even look 16. And she walked in the front door and said, "Is this the home of Ween?" And we didn't know quite what to answer. And we said, "I guess you could say that because they come from town and occasionally they play here and as individuals and certainly as a band." And she said, "Can I meet them, And I said, "Sure. I mean, there's no reason why you can't meet them. They'd be very happy to meet you, but they're touring right now. They're in Australia." And the kid fell on the floor. And we were looking at it, we didn't know what to do, And it turns out, I said, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" We all went over, picked her up and put her on the chair. She said, "I came from Australia to see them. I'm from Australia and they're in Australia?"
In 1992, their single, Push a Little Daisies, from the Pure Guava album, became a top 10 hit in Australia.
Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up. Push the little daisies and make them come up.
I'm on the inside cover of Guava. I remember that day. It was really cool when they photographed it. It was like the back of a big house over in Jersey, and everybody just sort of stood there all day. There was like a professional camera, group with, umbrellas, and they moved everyone around and they kept taking pictures. At one point I was holding a sickle, and at another point they said, "Have a cigarette dangling out of my mouth." They had one guy holding dead babies, and then in the next shot, dead chickens. They weren't sure what dead things they wanted to have, but it was cool. Everything they touch has this bizarre Dadaism.
children of love, screaming your final alarm.
So they have this rabid following, but they treat them like buddies and peers.
They're really nice people, and that really helps an awful lot because we're a very small place here. And
I love the guys, you know, I'm proud of them, and they'll never quit. They have to do it to survive. You know, they're true artists. They're not, you know, superficial. I mean, they need to play. It is part of their soul. They have to do it. So they'll never quit. They'll always be recording. They'll always, you know, I don't know. I imagine them playing a banjo at an Alzheimer convention when they're in their 70s, you know, like, oh, you know, just doing some weird stuff.